Eight of Pentacles. Okay? Came up reversed. But we're going to read both. So that way we can gather an understanding of what isn't working for us, which is the reverse, and what will work for us, which is the upright, okay? In the reverse position, it's carelessness, sloppy work, and laziness. So basically not doing what you said you were going to do, not being proactive in that. And when people hear work, they immediately think of work, and not like shadow work, not healing work, not self-love work, not relationship work, but better communication, better understanding. Because that can be sloppy work too. You can be lazy in relationships too. Be lazy with yourself. You can have carelessness with your life as well. Okay? So that's what's not working. It's not. Okay? The upright meaning is skilled labor or craftsman. Okay? So you're skilled in what you're doing. You're understanding that it's going to take consistency. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take that mindset of me being one with my craft. Okay? Attention to detail. Okay? Again, attention to detail of how does this situation make me feel? Is this the work that I actually want to do? Am I mentally being clear in my own mindset? Am I mentally being prepared? Okay, so attention to detail. Okay, that focus, that understanding. This person is in a factory. They are working. Okay, they have an understanding of what they're able to do, and they're able to get a lot out at a certain amount of time. But they're also led by the sun. Okay, which means that they are very highly motivated. They are very active and assertive in the work that they're doing. Okay? We also have pride in one's work. It's going to be quite hard to take pride and joy in something if you're being careless about it, if it's sloppy, or if you're being lazy. It just is. Your work is coming from the fire, right? Which means it's coming from the fire of your passions, the fire of your actual resilience to do something, your dedication, okay? So keep that in mind when we're doing that. And there's a clock, which means it takes time, and that's okay. But if you're not dedicated to something, if you don't love something, take that closer look. If you don't feel like you're mentally doing something and you're not paying attention to the details of how things are making you feel or what it's making you think, so forth and so on, pay attention to that as well, okay? Right now, there is work to be done. So are you doing it half-assedly? Are you being careless? Are you being lazy? Are you paying attention to detail? Are you skilled laborer or craftsman? Okay? Are you able to take pride in your work? Be real. Be honest. Okay? It says, in the bowels of the factory, a laborer toils over his handiwork as he produces 8 golden pinnacles. Ever vigilant in his craftsmanship, he will not tolerate anything less than perfection. And when people hear perfection, they think, oh, I'll never get there. Perfection is you taking, again, pride in your work, taking joy in your work, being skilled in your work. That is perfection. Okay? Actually doing what you love and loving what you do. Okay? So, and 8 is about abundance. It is about infinite possibilities. It is about infinite openings. It's about the continuation of recognizing when I reap what I sow. So what are we sowing? Okay. Next, we have the Tower, also in the reverse. But again, we're going to read both. So that way we know what we need to work on and we understand what we need to do. Okay? Just a moment. Thank you for your patience. The Tower, again, it came up in the reverse. So that is inability to break from sad events, redundancy in life, right? So if you don't have the ability to break from sad events, it's going to stay in your mind, it's going to stay in your body, and that's how you're going to start acting out. It's because you weren't able to separate yourself from what happened to you, to what you are, to who you are, to what you can create, to what you actually possess inside of you. It's this inability to break from those sad events, and now you're making it every occurrence in your life, which is redundancy, right? In life. It's a continuation of the same thing that you do not want to happen, that you do not need to happen. Whether that be your thoughts about things, whether it be your actions about things, your feelings, your capability. It's just a matter of recognizing that you have this inability to break, okay, from sad events. It is now becoming you, and now you are acting out like it. The upright meaning is severe or abrupt change. We love change. The only thing that's constant is change. We love it. Change is needed. Change is necessary. Change is progressive. Change is revolutionary. Change is idealism in actual action form, okay? Loss or an accident, that's okay. Sometimes we have to lose things. Sometimes things have to happen and occur in our life to put it in a different perspective, to put us in a different mindset, in a different gear shift, okay? Traumatic event. Trauma does happen. It's life. We live it, whether it happened in the past, or we continue to relive it, or it happened again, okay? We have ruin or upheaval. All of these things are things that are taken from you. It's a loss of something. It's a grief of something. It's a removal of something. It's a shaking up of something. Because the structure is not solid. Where you are going, you can no longer take those things with you. The hard-headedness, you are going to have to live your life no matter what, right? So when you're speaking, you're like, this is what I want to happen. Sometimes if you're going against what you want, it's going to have to break. It's going to have to be traumatic. It's going to have to be abrupt. It's going to have to shake you, right? It's going to have to move you. Because not only did you fall out of the tower, but your tower is crumbling. Because it wasn't a solid foundation. And that's okay. Because with ruin and upheaval, it can only go up from here, right? So as a lightning blast from the sky strikes the tower, 2 sinners plummet to their death below as the structure falls to ruin. And as we all know, death in tarot is not actual physical death. Hopefully, knock on glass or knock on wood, it's up to you. But death is about something having to be deaded. Old ideas, old concepts, old relationships, old situations, a job or a career or a mindset, habits, right? You have to have some type of transformative thinking, and the only way to do that is to kill it, for it to be dead, for it to no longer be here. Because if we are going to be skilled craftsmen, if we're going to be able to take pride in our work and do what is that power of possession and being able to hold it in our hands and craft it and create it, some things are going to have to go. Some things are going to have to be deaded and end. So it doesn't work. It's given a lot of masculine energy in these cards, right? Divine masculine energy. And that means that we have to be more assertive. We have to be more outspoken. We have to be ready to step into the light. We have to be ready to be seen. We have to be ready to be heard. We have to be ready to take charge in leadership in our life. We have to be ready to stand at the forefront. We have to be ready to do the work, put in the work, This is male energy. Crafting, working. We can all craft and work. We can all have divine masculine energy. But are you tapping into it, right? Then that leads us to the Emperor. We got this last time. Okay? The Emperor is somebody that conquers. Somebody that is a strong male figure. Luckily, this came up in the upright. Okay? But we're going to read both. Okay? It's incompetence, weakness, indecision is the reversed. So it's time to stop acting like you don't know how to live your life. You don't know what to do. You feel like it's no longer in your hands, that you cannot say what you want and get what you want and know that you are deserving. You act stupid, for the lack of a better word. Okay? Weakness. You easily succumb to everything. If something bad is happening in your life, this sad event, this upheaval, this reckoning, you easily succumb to it and feel like it is happening to you. This causes laziness, carelessness, right? You feel like you are weak. And that becomes weak-minded, weak in action, weak in creation, weakness, limp noodle, okay? Indecision. You feel like you can't make a decision for your life. Spirit is going to make it for you. There's no choice. Feel like you can't make a decision in your life. Causes laziness, carelessness, no pride, no happiness, right? So, we don't want to be incompetent. We don't want to be indecisive. We know exactly what we want to do, but are we tapping into the divine masculine? We've already nurtured the manifestation. We've already spoken to it. We've already created it. We've already become pregnant with it, with the idea. But are we taking the action to do it? The upright is strong male figure. Leadership, accomplishment, and ambition. You have to go for what you want. There's a song by Black and he says, if I would have waited on you, I would have never got started. Or does he say, if I would have waited on you, I would have been waiting forever? Something along those lines. I haven't heard the song in a little bit, but it's a good song. Basically, what he is saying is, if I'm waiting on you to tell me when to go, I'll never get the go-ahead. I'll never get the go-ahead and do it. It's your time. It's ready. You have to lead your life. You have to be ready for your accomplishments. You have to take pride in them. You have to be crafting it. You have to be creating it. You have to be working and toiling like the worker. Right? That's what we have to do. That's what has to come for us. Okay? It says, dominating all that is around him, the emperor sits with confidence. Bless me. Although pleased with his achievements, he looks towards other areas of conquest. Now that I have controlled my mental, right? I've gotten it under control and I'm thinking more intentionally. Now I can control how my actions are going to be. I can control what I'm doing. I'm going to know what I'm going to do and decide. I'm not going to be overwhelmed by sad events or traumatic events. I'm going to heal from it. I'm going to learn from it. This death is a good thing. Is it going to kill me and I'm not going to be able to be revived, or is it going to kill me and I'm going to transform? Am I going to be a hard worker, a skilled craftsman, pride in my work, ready? Am I going to be lazy, careless? Am I going to be strong, accomplished, a leader, ambitious? Or am I going to be indecisive and weak and just allow things to happen? A lot of people just give me anything. Think about it. We have the Page of Cups. Pages are about starts. It's about being bold in what you're doing. bold in why you're doing it, right? This came in the upright position, right? We're going to go ahead and read that. Get into it. Yeah. We're also going to read the reflective. Spirit is telling me to read all the reflectives, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read all the reflectives. That's good. Reflective, reverse, either way, it's something that you should reflect on, okay? A selfish person, secretive, a liar or lazy person. So with this death, are you going to become indecisive, weak, a liar, lazy, selfish, and not learning from the tower, not recognizing your power of creation? Or are we going to be reflective or imaginative person? Are we going to be compassionate? Are we going to show gratitude? Because typically when we have a tower moment, again, it's something that we have been nurturing, manifesting, creating, cultivating in our lives. And the events around it may seem very traumatic, may seem very hard, may seem very rough and sad, may seem like we're losing everything. But was it really everything if it's not what you wanted in the first place? If it's not what you needed in the first place? No. Stop holding on to things so much, because now you're giving what you have more power than you recognizing you have the power. It reminds me of the show The Sandman, when he was going after his tools and he forgot that he put his power in the tools, not the other way around. You give everything power. You give everything light. You give everything energy. You are your source. But if you don't recognize that, we get the reversed. Okay? We want to be compassionate with ourselves. Compassionate for those that are there for us. We want to be grateful for our life. If you haven't listened, posted some affirmations today, and that was one of the affirmations. I respect and love my life now. I'm grateful, but I'm also thankful for my blessings to come. Okay? It says, a comforting a hapless sea creature. She, my bad, it's a she, look at me. Shame on me. Shame on me. Comforting a hapless sea creature, she holds in her cup. The page makes her way to the beach. The fish offers her a glowing pearl as thanks for helping him find the way home. And again, that pearl came from inside the fish. That tender, caring, loving nature to help someone came from inside the page. That blue wrapped around shows that they are vocal, they are sure of themselves, right? They're resonating in that. That purple on top of their head is recognizing that they're trusting in their intuition to guide them and lead them in what they are creating. That green and that red is about getting more centered and grounded in the root chakra, but also opening up your heart for change. That purple and that red and that blue is showing that, okay, I've conquered the root chakra. I've overcome it. Now I can be more vocal with my intuition and what I know is right. Understand this and know this. We are not piss poor people, piss poor beings. We are not here to just be lackluster. We are not here for faulty little nitty gritties and just taking it. We are here for love. We are here for peace. We're here for cultivation of creation. We are here for bliss. We're here for understanding. Okay? So take that in. Take take that in and drink something. This ain't alcohol, but it sure is good. Delicious. Delicious. Let's take a closer look at whatever. I'm just shuffling the cards and letting them come out. Stay with me. Let's get into it. We have release fear and look to the future with excitement. 777. Okay? That means release the fear of losing things. Release the fear of control. Release the fear of things not working out. Release the fear of things are not going to serve. Bless me, you for your best good, for your higher enjoyment. Once you release the fear, you're able to look to the future with excitement, right? You ever not study for a test and you're fucking afraid that you're gonna fail, right? But if we're using the Eight of Pentacles and we understand who we are, right? We already know that we're skilled. We're looking to that test with excitement that we're gonna pass at least with an 85 to 90, right? So release that fear. Recognize that all your lessons beforehand is the accumulation of that tower moment. All those events beforehand or during are that accumulation. So that way we can continue to be the Page of Cups, which is being able to be emotionally bearing, emotionally ready, prepared, and to pour into ourselves, but also to extend that to others, right? Release that fear. Please listen to the podcast today because we also talk about fear as well. It's just affirmations, baby. Everybody can use an affirmation because it's affirming your body and your soul and your mind of the truth, of the love, of the honesty, okay? So release your fear and look to the future with excitement. Be ready, be prepared for it. Because everything is going to work out for you. Everything is going to work out for you. Everything is working out for you. Know that. Recognize it. I love seaweed. What about you? Okay? Time to moisturize. You're a little dry. We got this last time too. And it's this realization that maybe we're not giving to ourselves as much as we think we are. We're having a little bit of carelessness, a little bit of weakness, a little bit of indecisiveness. We're having a redundancy in life. We need to moisturize ourselves. And self-love is not just about taking a bath. It's not just about journaling. It is about continually affirming that you are you and that you love you in all situations, in all cases, in all stages of life. Right? That's self-love. And then no matter what happens around me, I love myself. I care about myself enough to stay focused, to stay assertive, to stay driven, to stay passionate. Because I deserve it. It's knowing your worth and applying that. You are in high demand of yourself. Right? You are a high commodity for yourself. Remember that. So time to moisturize. You're a little dry. You've been lacking a little in that self-love. And recognizing your power and your truth. Don't do that. We don't do that around here. Excuses only satisfy the people making them. Okay? You're quite stagnant. What tower moments are supposed to be death. We're going to want to end our excuses. We're going to want to end our lacklusterness on feeling in life. It's supposed to be dead. We're not going to cling on to people, things, or situations that went. Because again, even if you're fighting it, you're going to get that abrupt change. That feels good. You're going to get it. So stop making excuses because they only satisfy you for the moment. And you're lying to yourself, which is also reverse. You're lying about your capabilities. You're lying about the situation. You're lying about why you're not doing something. You're lying about how you feel. You're lying. Excuses only satisfy you for a moment because your body can't resonate with truth. It can't resonate with lies. I can't stand on it. I can't build up from it. And it will soon come crumbling down. So stop making excuses. Start being dedicatedly assertive and selfish with yourself. Time to get your protection up. After a moment of the tower, of that realization, you can be a little vulnerable. You can be a little vulnerable. And that's okay to be vulnerable. Because again, we have the green to open our hearts for us to be ready to receive new love, to receive new life. But also we're grounded and rooted. We're sure of ourselves. We're understanding ourselves. We know ourselves. We're prepared. We're rooted, the root chakra, right? We know that we are guided and protected. And sometimes the best way to get you protected up is to just say, this is happening through me. This is happening around me. This is not happening to me. I am safe. I'm loved. And I'm protected. Bless me. Because you are safe. You are loved. You are protected. Again, all of this is your manifestations in action. So release that fear and be ready for the excitement that is soon to come. And recognize that I go with the flow while staying rooted within, like the emperor. He conquered it. It was the red under it, right? The little thing. He conquered that fear. He conquered that worry. He conquered that stress and recognized that he wasn't bound by earthly restrictions and he was able to be assertive and sure. But it's also the Page of Cups, recognizing that someone else may be in need and you're able to help. And with that help, it is showing not only the extension of your love, but they're able to give that back to you. To thank it for helping him pick out a pearl. But if you're feeling selfish, if you're feeling closed off, if you're feeling carelessness in your life, if you're feeling indecisiveness, if you're feeling worry, if you're feeling all those things, you're not able to tap into their true power. You can still go with the flow while staying rooted. Okay? Go with the flow while staying rooted within. And that also comes with moisturizing yourself. Okay? Just like the Eight of Pentacles, I ignite the fire, a passion with the breath of renewed life. Adding in a little bit of that Tower. I ignite the fire, a passion with the breath of renewed life. Actually, that's all the cards. The igniting the fire of passion is the Eight of Pentacles, right? With the breath of renewed life is the Page of Cups, because the fish got a new life. The passion is also the Emperor, knowing that they can lead, that they can take charge, that they're strong, right? That renewed life is also the Tower card, and recognizing that with death comes life. Like Kirk Franklin says, right before I live, I have to die. And that has been ringing in my head. That is a good fucking song. Right before I live, I have to die. Because that's the truth. And that man be speaking in tarot. Take it from me, that man speaks in tarot cards. Bless me. We have 444. We're getting a lot of odd numbers here. Okay? So we may be at an odd point in our life, a little shift in our life, right? We have, you are being watched over by your ancestors and protected in all ways. Always. Know that you are guarded. Right? And sometimes getting your protection up is a matter of just talking to your ancestors or the universe or your guides or your angels. So that way you can focus on your self-love, focus on your healing, focus on recreating a foundation that is cultivated for you. So just say, hey, while I do this, make sure I'm always staying protected. Put some salt in front of your door and some black pepper. Light a candle. Take a bath. Journal. Speak it out loud. Cuss out people. Do what you're doing to do. But at the end of the day, protect your peace. And protect yourself. Okay? So just know that you are being guided and led while you are going through this Tower moment. While you are figuring out how to cultivate and craft yourself and your life. While you are, setting things up. Okay? But we also want to recognize, again, this is definitely telling you to call on your ancestors, your guides in the universe, because it says, be okay with not knowing. I don't know, Spirit, teach and lead me. That's also why we want to release fear, because sometimes the fear comes from us feeling like we don't know what's going to happen, and we feel like it's not going to work out for us. Be okay with not knowing. I'm going to bring it up as much as I can until more stuff happens, because I've been blessed continuously. But when my power went out, I didn't know what was going to happen. I honestly expected that it was going to stay this way until I left. But as soon as I was like, hey, you have permission, spirits, to work on my behalf and do for me, the next day, the power came back on. I knew that I had an ability to get food, but not an actual ability to have it to me. I was able to be provided for by my friends and my family and my loved ones. Which are high-key kind of the same thing. Right? And I have food, I have nourishment. I wanted Sage to go out and be with me. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I want him to be able to take walks and get outside. He finally got accustomed to the leash, and now he waits at the door. So we have to be okay with not knowing how it's going to work out, but just releasing that fear and looking to the future with excitement that it will work out. Not making excuses, not retracting our statements, not getting lazy, not becoming liars, not making excuses. Ooh. Not allowing our life to be stagnant, but being okay with not knowing. Being okay with that. That is A-okay. Because as soon as we feel like we know everything, that's when we feel like, okay, we're adding on more anxiety, we're adding on more stress, we're adding on more worry, and it's a lot harder to communicate, it's a lot harder to hear, it's a lot harder to stay focused and lead with that accomplishment. Paying attention to details is a lot harder to do when you have a lot in your hands, a lot on your mind, okay? Last card that we have is patience and understanding go hand in hand. Time to forgive and move forward. And it can be forgiveness of others, but this is mainly a forgiveness of yourself, okay? And I'll say it and I'll say it again and I'll say it as many times as is laid on my heart and laid on my tongue. Sometimes we accept things because we feel like that's where we are at the moment. So when you get out of that and recognize that I don't deserve this, do not feel ashamed, do not feel disappointed, do not feel bad, do not feel like you're like, that's where you were at that moment. And that is okay. That is perfectly fine, because now we have an understanding of what to do moving forward. We had a lot of patience. We had a lot of patience with the wrong thing. We didn't understand why we were staying there, right? Or we were understanding what was going on, but we didn't have enough patience to work through it or work around it. But they go hand in hand when it's time for us to break free of cycles, when it's time for us to break free of constrictive mindset and earthly restrictions. I have patience to know that I'm going to release fear. I have patience to moisturize myself, to take time for myself, to forgive myself and to have grace, to have mercy, to lead my life with assertion and positivity that I'm going to do it, I want to do, and I'm going to accomplish it. I'm going to be able to have an understanding that I don't know everything. That is also knowing that you don't know what you know, that you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's understanding that I'm not going to make excuses because of things not going in the way that I expected, okay? It's time to forgive yourself and to move forward. Move forward. We do not want a redundancy in life, okay? Let's go ahead and move on to the final deck. Drop the facade. Protect your peace. let's go ahead and get into this. Card that flew out. Self-love is top tier. Again, we want to make sure that we're moisturizing ourselves. It's hard to take pride in your work. It's hard to conquer other things. It's hard to lead. It's hard to be able to move on from the tower. It's hard to be compassionate and understanding with yourself and with others if you don't love yourself, if you don't know yourself, if you're not able to recognize yourself and who you are. Self-love is top tier. It may not be the only love, but it's the top love. Okay? Bless me. It is top tier. Love on yourself. And only you know how to love on yourself. If you need to sleep in more, sleep in more. Do what you gotta do. Speak up more. Create more. Love more. This is a song. Mama Riba. Love her. Love her. But self-love is top tier. You do not want to go dry when you're trying to replenish yourself after a tower moment. You are dead after that tower moment. And you want to have the breath of renewed life, but it's going to be quite hard to do if you are dry. If you are lying, if you are making excuses, if you are indecisive, if you are lazy, if you are careless, if you are weak. It's going to be even hard to protect yourself and your peace if you don't love yourself. You have to know that you are worthy in all ways. Next card that we have is potential only matters when someone acts on it. Imagine just sitting in that factory like the Eight of Pentacles. Imagine they have the potential, they got the cup in their hand like the Page of Cups, and they don't use it to save the fish. I potentially could have did it, but they didn't do anything. Sometimes we miss out on blessings, we miss out on things that are for us because we make excuses or we lie about it. Or we just notice our potential, but we don't actually do anything with it. Okay? Potential only matters when someone acts on it. Otherwise, it's just a dream. Okay? Next we have, which is also 777. You're a magical ass being. Act accordingly. As soon as we release that fear, we look to the future with excitement, we recognize again that everything is going to work out for us. And I said it in the last reading as well, if my self-love is top tier, so is my magic. So is my actions that are based off the potential that I have inside of myself. Okay? Recognize that. Realize that. Take that on. And if you don't know how to start with self-love, you got to be more selfish. You are not being selfish enough if you don't know where to start. And that's just the truth. Who are you without everything? Who are you without this person? Who are you without this job? Okay? These two go together. So we're here again. Excuses are keeping you stagnant. You know exactly what you need to do. You know exactly what you need to say. You know exactly how you need to react. You know exactly all those things. Forgive yourself for where you were. Stop allowing things that happen to you to live so presently in the moment when they are from the past. We cannot live in the past. We can only learn from it. Okay? We cannot go back to the future. Okay? So recognize that if we're here again and we just had a tower moment and we're supposed to be in the Emperor, then something is not working for us. And it's our excuses. In the last reading, we also got that you're the problem. So you are the problem, right? We have to recognize that patience and understanding go hand in hand, and that it's time to move forward. But it's hard to do if we're in the same spot again. How does that work? It doesn't. Doesn't even make sense. And that's mainly because poor spiritual hygiene, you need more than sage, okay? It's that recognition that if it's not working out for us, finally I can go ahead and look. I'll figure that out later. But taking that in, poor spiritual hygiene, you need more than sage. Sage is not going to clear you out from actually getting up and being active in your life. It's not going to clear you out from giving yourself self-love. Right now, sage is just your potential and you're not actually acting on it. So go outside and do some groundwork. Go do what you need to do. Okay? Start journaling. Start drawing if that's what you like to do. Cooking, creating, you just have to start being more into the Eight of Pentacles. That's what's needed. That's what needs to happen. What is going on? That's what I gotta remember that when it goes, because I gotta go. So poor spiritual hygiene, again, you're drying up. You are drying up. You are suffocating yourself. You need more. You need to ignite that passion. You need to tap into that renewed life, okay? And sometimes it just starts with fact-checking. Right? Fact check. Fact check the world around you. Fact check how you react to things. Fact check how you're thinking. Because when it's a fact, it's not an opinion. An opinion is my mom's spaghetti is the best in the world. That's not a fact. It's just not. The fact is that I have 10 fingers. Right? Those are facts. So we have to make sure that we are actually being real. That's why we also are able to pay attention to detail. We're able to be compassionate. We're able to release that fear. Because we're understanding that a fact in life is that I'm a magical ass being. And I'm going to start acting accordingly. Because that's a fact. Okay? So we need to stop lying. We also got this in the last reading. And for the reverse of the other cards. Stop lying. Excuses are lies. They are. Excuses are lies. Stop lying. Stop lying. There's no other way, ifs, ands, or buts about it. Stop lying. Okay? That's how we also have throat punch. Because in order to tap into that emperor energy, we have to be assertive. We have to lead our life. We have to understand. But when we don't, our throat gets sore. It starts hurting. It starts getting raspy. It starts being more difficult. And that also dries us up. And that's also why we need more than sage. Because we're not speaking up. We're not saying what we need. Right? I shoulda, coulda, woulda don't mean a goddamn thing. But as long as you got breath in your life, in your body, start speaking up. Start saying what needs to be said. My tongue speaks truth. My ears will listen and my body follows. If we were to read this down in this column, it would be self-love is top tier. So we're here again, fact check. Potential only matters when someone acts on it. Excuses are keeping you stagnant. Liar, liar. You're a magical ass being, act accordingly. Poor spiritual hygiene, you need more than sage. Throat punch. Do you see how smooth that is? So take into a realization. Because either you're going to take a detour or you're going to be on the right path. Because remember, you are always on the right path. Doesn't matter, is it going to take you longer to get here? You're going to have to continue to learn lessons. Or you're going to recognize, because look at this, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Your magical ass being act accordingly. You are always on the right path. You are always protected. You are always guided. You are always loved. But you cannot neglect your spirit. You cannot neglect yourself. You cannot neglect your life and the way that you want to live it. It's just, it's not going to work out. In any sort of way of being. It's just not going to work out. Okay? So take all of that into realization. Take all of that and notice it for yourself. Okay? That's the reading that I had. And the reason I was so quiet in the beginning, because I feel like the cards are going to speak for themselves, and they did. They did. I might be back on later with a different deck, just because I want to. But I love you guys. Love yourselves more. Take care of yourself. And remember that this is what you asked for. This is your manifestation in action. You're not losing everything. You're gaining everything. It's kind of like when I went vegan, I didn't lose anything. I just gained a whole lot more knowledge, information, different nutrition. Okay? Recognize that. I love you all. Take care of yourselves.